Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Scorpio energy. And first we're getting out some cards from the Kipper deck. And then we're going to get out the tarot cards to expand on that, clarify that. So it's reading Scorpio energy. It might be something that is just impacting Scorpio energy, and we all tap into Scorpio energy. Scorpio is emotional water sign energy. It's fixed sign energy. It can be about our deep emotional connections with other people, going through kind of growing and healing and maturing ourselves. And, you know, some people can choose not to invest in their Scorpio energy very much, just don't maybe think it's that important. And so they might not, Scorpio is about kind of getting to know the mysteries of life emotionally, and it can start with yourself. And some people don't even want to understand why they feel the way they feel and can just ignore it. I just gonna shove it underneath the surface is what Scorpio can talk about also. So different people will be handling this energy differently depending on if there's someone who is more connected in with their emotions or they're not, if they want to do deep, meaningful relationships or they don't. Shadowy Scorpio, in our free will, we can make our life kind of more about ourself, which can be our self-protective nature emotionally, or indulge in things to feel better instead of kind of like the truth sets you free if you work through those things. But they might also be more superficial and shallow in shadowy Scorpio. Where they're not very emotionally connected, and it is either all about them or these things of the world that they make more important in their life than love. So we start out in the Kipper deck with the unexpected income, which I kind of view as the Six of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which has to do with our philosophy of life. And the reason is because kind of our truth, I kind of view the mature man as like a King of Pentacles, King of Cups. Some people's philosophy of life is it is all about the world. That's emotionally what they're more invested in. And again, being more about the world can be more about themselves, more about things they want to indulge in or make their life about, but not really love. And other people are the opposite. And as people go through life, the people that are kind of going back and forth, because you can choose this path or that path in your free will, but there can be people who haven't decided, and some people are trying to, the unexpected income of the Six of Pentacles can kind of talk about that, we're on this journey of getting more balance within ourselves and learning these lessons. And if we're willing to get out of our defensive nature, our ego nature, to admit we even have lessons to learn, that some people could, if they were more tilted in favor of this way of living life, they could tilt in favor of that way of living life. But they have to be willing to learn the lesson. And with this card also kind of implying giving something to another person, but it can be within themselves. It's kind of like in our shadow nature, we kind of bribe ourselves, like, oh no, this is the best idea, and like you don't deserve love, and you shouldn't love and believe in yourself, or you can't go out in the world and like let your more authentic nature go out and play in the world. You could get hurt. And so then it's like our more egoic and the masculine figures, we can all, this can represent anyone and how they're presenting themselves in the world, but in shadow, the masculine cards can represent male or female, that they're kind of operating more from their ego nature. So it's kind of like they don't let their more authentic, loving nature out to play. And it's like always bribing them, like, this is good, this will work, this will make us happy, drink this, eat that, pop this, make your life about this is the way you should go about it. And they kind of let their more worldly, egoic nature run their life. Other people are willing to do more equal give and take, to be like a loving parent to themselves. I know you have your emotional nature. I know you want these things of the world. We also want, we want these things of the world, but we also want these things emotionally that are fulfilling, and kind of more willing to do equal give and take. And they're letting their more kind of standing up for themselves. Our worldly egoic nature of ourself can be represented by the masculine figure because we are human beings, and that's kind of considered masculine energy in our worldly vessel. But they're being a good parent to themselves and willing to do equal give and take. Let's maintain balance within ourselves. Let's go. We want some of these things of the world, but we equally want truth and love and be in a career we love, be in relationships with people we love, and our more high vibrational nature is in the driver's seat of our life, and our shadow nature kind of has to sit in the back seat, but we love it, but we don't indulge it. It's like, no, we've already learned some of these lessons in life. We're not going to go take more immature action. In a way, is kind of how you could view it. So, what else is the rest of the story? We have the Sun in reverse and the Queen of Cups. Um, Again, the Sun can be, for some people, they haven't learned to love themselves. And I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio energy. And it can be where you're just more codependent on other people, looking to other people to love you because you haven't learned to love yourself. Um, Still codependent on other people, still looking to the world to validate your worth and value. And in high vibe, the people aren't more in their ego and they are letting love and intuition guide them. And people are going to move forward based on their truth. Some don't want a new beginning in love. The Sun can be about having a new beginning. Some people don't want to have a new beginning in love. Other people don't want to have a new beginning with people who are emotionally shallow and superficial. With some people in our life, we have seen the truth and we don't want to be, they know they don't want to be in a relationship with us, and we know we don't want to be in a relationship with them. I mean, to the degree that we could have been in a relationship with them. And so everybody could be trying to find other people to be in a relationship with that they feel have kind of the same philosophy of life as they do, or want to do the same kind of things as they do. So everybody's kind of exchanging resources with people in their life that are aligned with their truth. And that's kind of the difference between, like, high vibe people can get out of their ego about it. I can accept, and it's seeing the truth that there's some people in my life I know, um, our truth is different, but I'm able to still stay in an energy of love and accept that those people aren't motivated and inspired by love or to be just and fair or act with character and integrity. And I'm letting go of the people who do operate more from their pride and ego. And the shadowy people are letting go of the people who are more authentic and loving, that want them to be more authentic and loving. And that's not their truth. And that's not how they want to live their life. Or they might not see the importance of love yet, and they don't value it. So with those people, we're going on different journeys from. And again, the high vibe people could be doing this work within themselves to love themselves and get balance within themselves, kind of make peace with it, of the fact that some people in their life don't want to work with them more cooperatively in a just and fair and authentic and loving way. And then they're ready to move forward and have a new beginning. So then we have the Lover's card and the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands, like the Sun, is Leo energy. And the reason is because of the Six of Pentacles. Everybody loves what they love. They're emotionally invested in what they're emotionally invested in. And the Lover's card is Gemini, about our dualistic nature. And some people love operating more from their pride and ego. And in their Taurus, Earth sign philosophy of life, it can be about getting in friendships and relationships and being in jobs more for the status, the ego, the image, or it being more about them. And other people are the opposite. We live in a world of duality. If you're going to have free will, there has to be all these different types of people in the world. And sometimes we get in relationships with people who, they can seem a lot like us because shadowy energy, kind of represented by the devil, is people who just wear a false mask, who present themselves as more motivated and inspired, by truth and justice and fairness so that people who are loving will get in a relationship with them. But really, they want to exchange resources with people who are just and fair and loving, but that's not really their truth. And eventually, the people they get in a relationship with see the truth of it. But then those people could be moving forward, hiring someone else to work there, if it's a job, or getting a different friendship or relationship. But the new people they're getting in a friendship or relationship don't know that some of these people hide that they're just more about themselves or the ego or the image of it. And the people who've already learned that truth out of love for themselves, they got out of their ego, and they're not. The Six of Pentacles can talk about, I used to look at life this way or exchange resources with these people. Now I look at life differently, and I've learned these lessons in life, and I've gotten out of my ego about it, and I love myself, and I'm inspired to go exchange resources with other people. And the other people are like, yeah, and I don't want to be in a relationship with you because you wanted me to do more equal give and take and be more inspired in my Taurus philosophy of life by your philosophy of life. But that's not my truth. So they want to go find someone else to get in a relationship. Either someone else until that person is illuminated to the truth of who they are, or getting in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves. And then we have the King of Pentacles. And the reason that came out is because of the Chariot. So the Chariot is Cancer energy, which again can talk about emotionally what we love. Some people love the world. Some people just like to be in a relationship to be in a relationship. The Chariot can talk about to make them feel more stable and balanced, because shadowy energy can talk about the fact that someone's out of balance. Again, they haven't learned to maintain. They could want balance in their life, but they don't know how to love themselves. They operate more from their pride and ego, and instead of being willing to see the truth, I should maybe learn to love myself and invest in getting balance within myself and love myself. They get the idea, I know, I'll go get in a relationship with someone that will make me feel better, or I will go indulge in these things to make me feel better, or I will go make my life about these other things to make me feel better. And then they repeat the same pattern all over again. But they didn't learn the lesson. They keep thinking that the truth that they need to go find is outside of them, but the answer really lies within themselves, getting balanced within themselves, loving themselves, working through things that cause them inner conflict, work through past pain and heartbreak, work through fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, and kind of learn to be a loving mother, father, coach voice to themselves. But for some people, we can all align with our more prideful nature and say, I don't have to do that. I don't have any lessons to learn. Some people, again, it's like, that's not how you feel stable within yourself. No, you go get in a relationship with someone. That's the way to, which, yeah, having friendships and relationships with people can make you feel more balanced, more stable. But how about not getting in a romantic relationship with someone if it's for some other reason that you're getting in a relationship with them other than love? And shadowy Chariot of the Cancer energy can be where people think, I have an idea. The pentacle can be like people's truth. I have an idea. I want to look victorious and successful and look like I'm emotionally balanced. I'm going to go invest in someone else who either might be loving, and until those people find out I harness this energy in a shadowy way, that I try to present myself as loving, but it's kind of more of an image I present, trying to present myself as loving, but not really motivated and inspired by love. And I'll just try to present myself that way so other people will get in a relationship with me. Or other people, I just want to be in a relationship. Who can I find that I think maybe would want to be in a relationship and get in a relationship with me? And maybe I can tempt them more with those things of the world and how I look or how I present myself. And hope that somebody will take the bait and get in a relationship with them. And we all can be tempted. The King of Pentacles, male or female, can represent people who look very stable, very mature, very grounded, very victorious and successful in some way, mature, less maybe immature or less unstable or less bossy or controlling or whatever than other people we've known, And so it's just some people, it's just a facade. You're either in high vibe Leo, being authentic, not operating from your ego, more motivated and inspired by love, or you reject that and you do take action more out of your ego. And it can be, I'm just going to try to create the illusion that I'm motivated and inspired by love when I'm not. And I think the high vibe people that have done this work within themselves to reconcile themselves with some of these issues from their past, kind of see the truth that some of the people that I was in friendship or relationship could have certain traits or qualities or characteristics that I don't think is very just or fair or loving or mature, or I could feel like they're manipulative or they're more about themselves or they're more about things they want to indulge in, or materialism is the driving factor, the status or the image. Those people have come to peace about that and worked through it. They set themselves free, and I view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, and shadowy Capricorn is the devil. The high vibe people were inspired to learn the lesson. The one pentacle can be these lessons that we've learned in life about love. Got more clear about what our truth was, our truth wasn't. We're willing to deal with the truth about other people we were in friendship and relationship with. What's my truth? What drives and motivates me? What do I love? What kind of friendships and relationships and kind of people do I want to hang out with? And what kind of people don't I? High vibe people want to be in a relationship with people who are who they say they are. They're mature. They're balanced within themselves. They're motivated and inspired more by love than ego. Wanting to be in friendships and relationships, not more for how it could benefit them in some way that's more of their self-interest, but I want to be in relationships with other people who are just and fair and loving and know how to treat other people the way they like to be treated, and we can be in friendship and relationship with each other. But there's always going to be shadowy people in the world that are looking to see if other people in the world have seen through the illusion of people like them. And as you're moving forward, the high vibe people, there's always going to be shadowy people that you're going to come across, and you're going to come across high vibe people. And you can treat other people the way you like to be treated, be loving, be encouraging, do equal give and take with them. And then, you don't take action more from ego. You kind of listen to your intuition about who's who. And you get to know them, willing to exchange resources with people, time, energy, and effort to get to know what their truth is and what they love. Are they who they say they are? And then we have the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the reason is because of the King of Swords. It's kind of like, yes, I am willing to get to know people as I move forward, and I probably have some people in my life that are moving forward with me. And as we move forward, and the Five of Pentacles can be about moving forward, the Five of Pentacles detaches from the Four of Pentacles. There was a way of living life at one time, people in our life, jobs, whatever, ways of viewing ourselves, viewing the world. It was a way we used to view the world, but over the course of life, they kind of got more clear about their truth, were motivated and inspired within themselves to keep loving and believing in themselves. And part of that is I have to detach kind of from old ways of thinking. I have to keep willing to invest in continuing to love myself and grow and heal and mature myself, and detach from old ways of being and thinking, and Just like we didn't stay 18 forever, we didn't stay 21 or 25 forever. We learn lessons in life, and some people have a harder time with that because, again, both Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo are fixed sign energy. The other one is Aquarius, and Aquarius can kind of have to do with our dreams, kind of what motivates and inspires us and our idea of the dream life. And we can move forward in certain jobs, friendships, and relationships, but then there can come a time in those relationships that we're kind of ready to go to the next stage of life. We're inspired and motivated in truth and love to get the justice we deserve. And at the end of the story, we have the Emperor, which is kind of learning lessons in all four suits of the deck and kind of being a good leader in our own life. Um, we have our truth. It is about continuing, high vibe energy is about continuing to grow and mature itself. And we can move forward with people in different situations at different times in our life. And we're kind of ready to move forward and invest in the Page of Wands is kind of having that new inspired beginning. And the wands can be about, well, the wands and the swords and the pentacles are all about these things that we've learned throughout our life. And there's a maximum of 10 in every suit. And when we get to the 10, then it's to kind of see, oh, I've kind of completed that phase of life. Again, just like 18 to 21, 21 to 25. If I want to keep growing and healing and maturing myself, I feel like I did, I invested in that. What did I enjoy it? Yes, but then it can kind of get to be where it can kind of feel overwhelming to keep doing that. And, it's not as abundant as it once was. And, are we going to face our fears about, and there's a part of us in the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Wands in our more immature nature that we kind of want to keep staying in our comfort zone. That's human behavior, right? We kind of like to stay where we know how everything works, and we'd rather not face our fears to go do anything different, like, just like at all those other stages of life that we were at. But if our intuition is kind of telling us, it's like our high vibe nature telling us it's time to move forward and face our fears because we did learn everything we needed to learn here. We could keep moving forward in this way, but it does kind of wear maybe on our self-esteem because we didn't love ourselves enough to believe in ourselves, to face our fears, to believe that we could have victory is what the Chariot talks about. And it might require, if we move forward a little differently in the Five of Pentacles, which is also Taurus energy, that we might have to go through a period of kind of feeling left out in the cold because we've become independent of an old phase of life. And I'm going to move forward differently. And maybe some of the people in my life are like, why are you doing that? We should just keep doing this. I want to do this. I view this as victorious and successful still. It's like, well, I viewed that as victorious and successful at one time too, and was happy living my life that way. But shadowy energy represented kind of by the death card, which is Scorpio energy. I'm not growing and healing and maturing myself here. I've kind of reached my maximum potential of what I can do here. And we've kind of learned everything we needed to learn here. It's time to, again, love ourselves, kind of work through the fact that there's maybe some ways of living life, viewing life, look at some of the things that kind of manipulate us, that stop us from continuing to believe in ourselves and believe in our dreams. But it can be hard to detach from some of these old ways of living life and just high vibe energies being more independent to live your truth, stand up for yourself. Um, and I think in high vibe, people communicate, both the King of Swords and the Page of Wands can be communicating, whether it's a job, a workplace, a friendship. I would like to hold on to you in the Four of Pentacles. I would like you to come with me. You know, this isn't one of the things I want to let go of. There might, it's just like if you're friends and used to go hang out and do certain things, it's like, I don't really want to hang out and do those things anymore. I would like to go do some other things, and maybe those things are things that stop me from moving forward in my life. And I kind of see the truth of it. And if I want to keep moving forward more in alignment with the things I'm trying to manifest, I need to kind of give up some of those more immature ways of being or habits or vices, but I want to hold on to you. Do you want to come with, And we pick and choose kind of just like other people do. What things do I want to bring with? What things don't I want to bring with? And we prioritize. And, there might be some things or some jobs or some people that we might be and it could be because we feel like their truth or what they love or their dream, their truth is different. And some of them we might have found shadowy. Maybe they were kind of more about being in a relationship to be in a relationship, but they're not motivated to keep kind of growing and maturing themselves and have a way of living life or viewing life that they would be happy living their life like that all their life. It's like, I can't live my life like that all my life. I am within myself just inspired by a different truth, or more motivated and inspired to kind of keep stepping out of my comfort zone. Other people are less comfortable stepping out of their comfort zone. I want to live here. I want to live here forever. Same way you could work somewhere with people, and some people are like, oh no, I don't want to go look for another job. That's scary. And even if there's shadowy things going on there or not, it's just kind of like, are we willing to listen to our intuition when our intuition tells us it's time to move forward if you want to get the justice you deserve? You can keep staying somewhere, and it could seem very victorious and successful in a lot of ways. And some people are going to do that, like they're going to stay at that job. And everybody is on their own journey, and they could be completely happy with it. And you could be like, I don't know. I kind of feel like, could there be things I like about it? And then, say if it was a job and moving jobs, I still want to be friends with some of those people. So you could communicate, I am going to move forward and invest in, some other foundation, but I'd still like to be friends with you. But, there is a possibility that sometimes those kind of relationships drift apart, or it was like one thing to kind of be friends and hang out and do stuff when you work there, but when you don't work there, maybe then they're just going to hang out with the other people that they still work with, or, So the thing is, we might have to go through a period of feeling left out in the cold, and there might be some things or people we'd kind of have to distance ourselves from, and we'd also have to be willing to stand up for our own truth and things that we would like to invest in that motivate and inspire us and that we enjoy, where some other people in our life are like, wow, you shouldn't go do that, or why would you hang out with those people, or we don't do that, you shouldn't do that, and we live our life like this, and you should live your life like that. And other people are like, that's not my truth. And some people are willing to stand up for it, and some people aren't. And they're not willing to detach from some things or some people and be more independent and stand up for their truth and invest in the things that they really could like and enjoy, and people. And in high vibe energy, it's from love. This is my truth. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. I'm not trying to control anyone. I want to go invest in my truth and the things and the people that I love. I would like you to come with and like be a part of that. And some people are like, no, if you do that, we're going to turn our back on you, because maybe those people are different. And we like to you should live your life like we live our life, and you should be in the, but some people are kind of shadowy, and they're in relationships that are more shadowy. Taurus can be, it's a more transactional type of relationship, and it isn't a more authentic, loving relationship. It's like, do we get along well enough? Is there attraction there? Can we get along well enough? But it's more like picking a suitable person to be in a friendship or relationship with that doesn't challenge you to maybe grow and mature yourself, or doesn't require you to be more authentic or loving. And some people have made that is how they live life. Some people, you can know groups of people, and they do not want to be more authentic, more vulnerable, more open to love, because you can get hurt doing love. And also some people don't want to do it because the King of Swords is Libra energy, represented by the scales of justice. They harness a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy. They don't want to be more just and fair. And again, it could be, I like more codependent relationships and I'm more codependent, or I like to maybe use my status, my image, whatever I got, to try to get people to get in a relationship with me, but I don't really want to do truth and love. I might want to live more from my mind than my heart. I might indulge my more immature nature. I might be selfish. I might be more about myself. I don't want to open up. I don't want to do love. Let's get in a relationship, and you want to be in a relationship, and let's stay in it, and let's keep moving forward. And we kind of are in a codependent relationship, or I want you to be codependent on me. I like to be the boss. And some people are looking for people to be in that energy because that's their idea of the dream life and dream relationship. I want it to be where I'm the boss. I want it to be more about me, or I want these things of the world, and if I have them, people should indulge me, and I should be the more privileged person in the relationship. Kind of a little more my way. Well, love is to be equal give and take. And some people have a problem with that. And if they can't find someone who's kind of more willing to indulge them, this is their philosophy of life. This is how they view it. Well, then if I can't find someone who's willing to indulge me, I will go try to find someone else to indulge, because if the most important thing is that I look like I have a certain status or image in the world, or I just like more codependent relationships, one or the other person has to be more codependent on the other. It's a more transactional relationship because that's our truth. We don't really want to do love. We get hurt doing love. And so they eventually, when people are like that, people in their life who, to some degree, have learned some lessons that these people haven't learned, because again, they could have other shadowy traits and characteristics. Shadowy Scorpio can be that people are more bossy and controlling, more about themselves, intimidating, act like a private detective in a relationship, superficial and shallow. And of course, anybody who's any kind of shadowy energy, intimidating, controlling, immature, hurtful, unkind, well, they justify it. In their philosophy of life, they think that is just and fair. And some of those people, they indulge their more immature nature. They think that's just and fair. And they're just looking, some of them, to try to get someone to get in a friendship, a relationship, take that job, get in the job, marry them, and then they hope they have them trapped. Because all of us, kind of in our Scorpio nature and these fixed sign energies, when we invest in something, we can put in work and effort to try to make those things work, to make it victorious and successful and get the justice we wanted. And then we can kind of have a hard time kind of seeing the truth. We ignore the truth because we want it to work out, or we like those people, or we're attracted to those people, or we love those people, and we want to be in friendship and relationship and have a job, so we can kind of keep moving forward in it for a long time. And some people are at that stage in a relationship. Some people are just getting in. It's a cycle of Scorpio, basically. We get in contact with different people, we get to know them. Did we listen to our intuition, or were we more influenced by our and tempted by these things of the world? Which, as a human being, we want justice. We want some to manifest these things of the world. We want relationship, friendship, maybe to get married, have children. Um, and it's all this growing up to learn, get more clear about our truth, what our truth is and our truth isn't. And are we willing to learn the lessons about things when we didn't maybe listen to our intuition or love ourselves? And as we go in on those journeys, to be willing to detach from people and things and anything we could go invest in, like, oh, I'm sure this will make me happy. And it's like, oh shit. No, that kind of had the opposite effect. And that wasn't what I thought it was, or that's not good for me. And are we willing to see the truth of it? Or do we keep, no, 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 I'm sure this will work. No, no, no. And sometimes we play that role in people's life, and other people like to play that role in our life. Where I kind of, if you haven't learned to love and believe in yourself, or you have past pain, heartbreak, whatever, oh, I'm going to come in your life and I'm going to try to help you love yourself. Well, and that's why some of the people that we can get in more involved relationships with, we think, oh my gosh, they're just like me. They're a loving, nurturing person who tries to help other people love and believe in themselves. And if you're a high vibe person, that's what you do. So you move forward with someone thinking they're kind of motivated by the same things I am, or maybe again, they seem more mature and balanced and less immature or less unstable or less something than some other people I was in a relationship with. And so then you move forward with them in a relationship, but then you could find out as time goes by, everybody can kind of heal and grow and mature themselves in some ways and work through some issues. And, you know, we might find out the truth that some of those people can be loving and encouraging for people to heal or grow and mature themselves in some ways, but it's kind of more about how it benefits them and their image or their status, but they kind of really don't want to, where when it kind of sometimes it could get to be where it's one thing for you to heal or grow and mature yourself, it's another thing for you to kind of heal and grow and mature yourself and want to move forward differently even with them. It's like, what? Well, no, I wasn't ever planning to do things differently. Like, this is my comfort zone. I want to stay here. I didn't think you'd kind of love and believe in yourself enough that you're kind of ready to move forward in life differently, because then they have to become independent of some ways of thinking or feeling or past pain and heartbreak. And that's what we can do too in relationships. Oh, I'm going to be, except the thing is, for some of the people who are authentically wanting people to heal and grow and mature, yeah, some of those people, we help each other heal and grow and mature, and we keep moving forward with those people. But other people in our life, they could heal and grow and mature some, but at any point in a relationship, it can get to be where, again, if someone is more about the world and that's kind of what more drives and motivates them as the reason to get in and stay in relationships, and it's not really truth and love or having to be more just and fair, being more hopeful and believing and growing up and maturing themselves, that's when a relationship can end. And they're like, no, you can go. I'm gonna go find someone else to repeat this pattern with. Some people aren't willing to speak their truth. Some people aren't willing to be more independent of friends, family, the world, their ego. They're more worldly nature, and other people are. I'm ready to detach from being more influenced by the things of the world, and I'm going to invest in my truth. I have my creative, inspired, intuitive nature, um, and kind of looking at all those things as a phase of life again, offered people to come with, but knowing that everybody is kind of on their own journey and what makes them feel stable and balanced and what they view as abundant. And so lately I've been kind of looking at people's idea of the dream life as kind of like making cookies, you know? Everybody has their idea of the perfect mix. I want a sprinkle of this, a couple teaspoons of that, a cup of that, 2 cups of that, and other people are like, oh no, I want 2 cups of that, and I want a sprinkle of that, and I want 1 cup of that. And it's always going on this journey. And during this journey, can we meet people who we could have loved and we could have been loving and encouraging to each other? Yes. But then again, some people kind of come into our life during a phase of life, at whatever stage of life we were at, of kind of what motivated and inspired us at that point in time. So, why were we drawn and attracted to different people at age 15, age 18, age 21, age 25, for example, age 30, age 35? We're at different stages of life. We aren't the same person. Um, what and who and the kind of things that are important to us and that drive us and that we want to invest our time, energy, and effort into is different. And we can have these different people that have been in our life at some of those different stages. Some of those people, we didn't move forward with some people at some time. Some people didn't move forward with us. Later, some people we could kind of reconnect and we're kind of more on the same page again. But there are those times where we have to be willing, if we want to move forward, to keep learning these lessons. Who is willing to keep moving forward and who's not? And just like we can have that in friendships and relationships, employees can feel that way towards employers. Employers can feel that way towards employees. Everybody's kind of going through this Scorpio death and rebirth at different times. And again, there could be employees that are like, I like doing things like this. We should keep doing things like this. And if the employer's like, I've been trying to move things forward, because yes, that was great, but there's a bigger dream. And I kind of am looking for people who are kind of more on board, maybe more inspired within their foundation of self, to be inspired to be on board with it. And some people could be like, well, I'm willing to work here, but I'm really not inspired to do things any differently. I kind of keep wanting to do things the way I've been doing it. And then an employer can be looking for people who are more willing to be more inspired to just not keep doing the norm or coming for the paycheck, who's more inspired within themselves in their own truth, not to maybe just be here more for the paycheck, and then how differently does that affect how different people are there? I do like my job. I am someone who is motivated and inspired to learn, to grow, to treat other people in a more just and fair way, to want to enjoy my hours at work. And other people are like, maybe I'm just here for the paycheck. Maybe they're not so just and fair. Maybe they're kind of immature, not very giving to other people or something. Just don't, and they're just, don't make, you're either kind of being one of the people who tries to make the world a little better place for you and everybody else, or you're maybe kind of not, and then you're somewhere on the spectrum. But we communicate our truth. We accept the truth of who does want to move forward, who doesn't, who might be trying to use the love that I have for them to manipulate me, know that I want this to work out, but they're not willing to be more independent of some things they might need to be independent of, not willing to make a decision, not willing to speak the truth, more about their ego or their image, or And there too, we can have some people in our life that we are friends with that we would like to kind of spend more time with, but they could be in a relationship or marriage, and needless, that needs to take priority in their life. And so we could feel a little left out in the cold, even if people get in relationships or get married, if we're not in a relationship or get married. And when we've done that, other people could have felt a little left out in the cold, that other people were focusing on the phase of life that they were at and what was kind of driving, motivating them. But regardless, the truth is, people right now are moving forward in what drives and motivates them, what is aligned with their current truth. And we need to get out of our ego about it, offer love to it, offer our self love to close out that cycle. The emperor gets in the chariot. Love and believe in myself, give myself the things I wish other people would have given me. Again, maintain balance within myself. And I need to go invest in my truth. And then from the 5 to the 7 is the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles can be where people are going back and forth. And it might take time as people are moving forward, going through a period of feeling left out in the cold to feeling more stable within themselves, and going through this process to love and believe in themselves, to stand in their truth. And eventually, from the 7 of Pentacles down to the 4 of Pentacles is letting go of the 3 of Pentacles. There was a way of living life, and people I used to work with at a phase of life, and we're apparently on different pages now. So, you're able to let that go. High vibe energy is able to offer love to themselves in the situation to get out of their ego, because our ego keeps us stuck. And they're able to get the justice they deserve. I accept the truth. There's people in my life I would like to move forward with. I've communicated my truth to want to work together with those people and keep moving forward. And I have the people in my life who are moving forward with me, but some of those people aren't going to. And I accept the truth of that. And I've made peace with it. Because balance, all these cards of balance and love, I've made peace with it. They have the free will to make the decisions they want to make about what they think is best for them, to maybe make them feel stable and balanced within themselves, and or enjoy or like investing their time, energy, and effort into. That's not my truth. So, the Emperor is about having learned, where we've kind of gone on this journey. Okay, I had to look at my fingernails if they were dirty. I went and put mulch out on my trees this morning, but they're clean, pretty clean. The Emperor's like harnessing all 4 of the kings, having gone on a journey, letting their heart run their life, letting their mind run their life, letting their 3D nature run their life, letting their more passionate, creative nature run their life, letting 1, 2, or 3 of them kind of run their life. And it's learning all these lessons that all these aspects are a part of me. And I've learned when I let my heart run my life, the other 3 aspects of my life kind of went in the toilet. When I lived more from my mind or my self-protective nature, the other 3 aspects of my life kind of went in the toilet. And it's going on that journey of learning all these lessons, so that appreciating that all 4 elements, my heart, my mind, my emotional nature, my truth, my worldly nature, my stability, my security, and my unique talent, skills, and interests, and my passionate, creative nature, all of those are equally important. And I maybe at different times in my life thought 1, 2, or 3 or whatever were, and other ones were less important. And some people could still be on that journey in their life of learning those lessons. And they could, not believe in themselves, are still out of balance, haven't learned to get more balance within themselves, kind of stay out of balance, and might like more imbalanced relationships for now until they kind of see why do I get in these more imbalanced relationships? Why don't I get in relationships with people who are more on the same page as me? And it's not, again, I can be loving and encouraging to everyone, but how about find people who I think are really kind of loving and encouraging people that have learned how to love and believe in themselves, maintain balance within themselves, are just and fair, and are inspired and are mature and inspired to keep growing and maturing themselves. And that's what the high vibe people are looking for. And they have learned that loving themselves, believing in themselves, standing up for their truth, quit letting other people or the world or their ego or their more immature lust, greed, pride, ego, whatever nature manipulate them. I mean, at any point in time in our life, we do have our shadow nature that kind of tempts us to keep repeating old patterns. And some high vibe people are like, I've repeated that pattern enough times. I don't want to repeat it. I am inspired to do things differently, and I'm going to hold back from people who seem to be wanting to repeat some old pattern and way of interacting or conducting themselves in relationships that, like, I've already been there. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you go out in the world and you'd think that everybody who's like of a certain age has learned some of these lessons in life, and then you find out they haven't. And it's like being around people that are 45 and they're acting like mean girls and bullies like ninth grade or something. It's like, oh my gosh, these people have not learned some skills in life and still can be much more immature and again manipulative and intimidating and controlling. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna let someone else work with you or work here or be your friend or date you, and I'm gonna move on. So what's coming up? And as you're moving forward and you quit not wanting to have a new beginnings with people who wanted to repeat those old patterns, as you move forward, I think listening to your intuition will bring you justice, but we have to get over our fear. And then as we move forward and we listen to our intuition, we do meet other people who are more stable, grounded, mature. And of course, we're going to meet some shadowy people along the way. We decide kind of who's who. We communicate our truth to the people we want to keep moving forward with. And they have to decide if whatever they got to deal with. And some people move forward with you and are more people who move forward with you in that high vibe energy, and some people don't. High vibe people are moving forward and investing in their truth to get the justice they deserve and continuing to grow and mature themselves and investing their time, energy, and effort more into the people in their life who they think are on that same page. And letting go, and it can happen more slowly over time that you kind of detach from old foundations. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Scorpio energy? Motivated by these things of the world, just like everybody else. We live in the world, but the driving factor is more truth and love and justice and fairness. I want to be in a job and a workplace that I like, that I enjoy, and with people who are mature. And if people aren't, I'm going to go find a different job. And I want to hang out with people in friendships and relationships with people who are hopeful and loving and encouraging. Shadowy energy can be people who are competitive and envious and jealous and try to stop other people from loving and believing in themselves, probably so they'll indulge them and do it more their way. It's like, I'm looking for working with people who aren't more petty or envious or immature or codependent. And hey, you do your thing. You're great at that. Can I do that? No, that's not my thing. And you can accept that everyone has their own unique talent, skills, and interests, and everybody's at their stage of life. Can we get along with anybody at any age group? Yeah. Do you know how to conduct yourself kind of and treat other people the way you like to be treated? Fine. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're 15 or 85. Can we work together cooperatively? Are you willing to work cooperatively? Let's see what's going on. What's coming up for the high vibe people they might not see coming? The Nine of Cups and the Shadow card, which is like the devil, and the Page of Pentacles the Page of Wands and the Sun. And the reason is because of the Taurus Hierophant. Okay, so I was just looking on my astrological wheel over there. Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. So we can go on this journey where we could be more caught up in love, but oh my gosh, but I love them, or more emotionally indulging ourselves somewhere between the spectrum, or loving the world or things. And then we could be more caught up in the world, more stubborn, more prideful, more about ourselves, haven't learned to love ourselves. That's like shadowy Taurus. When we get more balanced, and Libra talks about balanced, when we get more balance between our Scorpio and our Taurus energy, that's when we can move forward because we've kind of gotten clear about our truth. And yes, emotionally, I like these things. Emotionally, I like these things. These things of the world attract me, but I also have this truth about relationships, and it's just getting more balanced in it. And that's like high vibe Hierophant. Having learned these lessons again, listening to your intuition, because the counterpart to the Hierophant is the High Priestess. The counterpart to the Emperor is the Empress. Having your more worldly nature, which is again what the masculine energies can talk about, but being very emotionally connected to, balanced, and have a kind of gotten to know yourself, kind of understand why you do what you do, why you act in certain ways, have been willing to see the truth of your more shadowy, immature, egoic nature, offer love and compassion to it, but motivated to grow up and mature yourself. So people had indulged the devil, people had indulged themselves. They had indulged themselves in poor behavior, they'd indulged poor behavior in others. And all of that journey that you were on helped you get more clear about what your truth was and your truth wasn't in your earthly nature. The pages can represent all three of the earth signs in your Virgo, in your Capricorn, in your Taurus. What you view as victorious and successful, and you are willing to learn lessons, you are willing to grow and heal and mature yourself. Yes, you can put in work and effort to have status and be victorious and successful, but it comes from investing more in your truth is what will make you happy. Like, again, I could go invest in a career maybe where a person makes a lot of money, but it's like hell. I want more balance in my life. I need to go invest in what's more aligned with my truth. Maybe it won't have as much of those things, but at least I'll be happy. At least I'll be invested in what is more aligned with my truth. I'm not living a lie. I'm not creating an illusion. I'm happy when I'm not. And it just changes your energy. And you want to go invest in other people who have been illuminated to the truth, who aren't more about just indulging themselves, being more indulgent in the world, making their life about the world, making their life about all these things. It's about a balance. I have my worldly nature, I have my more hopeful, believing, loving nature, and I'm inspired to align with my truth. And I offered that truth to other people, and some of those other people are like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm still more about me, more about the world, more about indulging myself. It's like, I see the truth of it. I wish you peace. But, and when you accept that and you go out in the world to go find people who harness that energy in a more high vibe way, more in their fire sign energy of the Page of Wands, in their Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they looking for the people who are more inspired to walk the talk, grow, heal, mature themselves, be more authentic, less in their ego, less defensive, less immature. And the other people in their fire sign nature of their Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are still just more at a stage of life of learning these lessons, being more caught up in themselves or these things of the world. And it's just a process. I kind of view Leo as kind of coming into having been illuminated and learned these lessons where you feel more comfortable in your own skin to live your more authentic truth, can be a loving and encouraging person to people in the world. Am I getting in a more involved relationship with you? No, I've already learned that lesson from other people. And I'm no longer in denial. And I get to know people to see what their truth is. And if they kind of show me as I get to know them that their truth is kind of that other way of living life and treating people in relationships or making their life about, no, that's not my truth. And I think you will have new beginnings with people who are more on the same page as you. And I think, you will look very like a good leader in your own life, as someone who walks the talk, who's just, who's fair, who's balanced, who's loving, who's authentic. But you're only going to get in relationships with other people who are willing to be in that energy. And there are other people in the world who are in that energy. You just need to see who isn't, wish them peace and love, and go invest more of your time, energy, and effort into the people who are. And the devil could be someone who challenges you. And anybody, we can all get in a relationship where, oh no, oh I know they're more immature. Oh I know they're kind of bossy and controlling. Oh I know they're this, they're that. Oh no, I'm going to try to be loving and encouraging to get them to change. Well, and the fives talk about change, and sometimes we realize, I'm done trying to change other people. If that was their truth, they would be living their life like that. It is very hard to change people's philosophy of life, of what they think is just and fair. So I'm not going to try to change their philosophy of life. If they want to live their life like that or they act that way, the truth is, I've been trying to be loving and encouraging, hoping that there would be justice in the situation, but I see there's not, and really the only person I can change is me. And even though I might not have wanted to let go of this, because I could have love for those people, brother, sister, mom, dad, whoever, that's not my truth. And I have to kind of quit. Shadowy energy is staying in denial of the truth, that apparently this is not their truth. So I'm going to accept the truth. And the truth sets you free to go invest in your truth. And your truth is different than their truth. And when you quit trying to change other people, or you're not going to keep doing everything for them, like filling their cup emotionally when they never want to learn how to fill their own cup and being more codependent on someone. It's like, you got some lessons to learn. You're going to have to go hang out with some other people and try that with them and see how it works. And maybe in the process, you'll learn that you need to learn how to fill your own cup some too. And make that decision that I am going to become independent of people who want to keep me stuck. The devil can be about keeping you stuck. And those things that manipulate them, that's their issue to deal with. I've offered truth and love and encouragement. They can choose to invest in those things that to stay in more loving and encouraging, or any resources or assistance I've given them. But they have to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. And instead of looking for people to keep indulging them. And kind of learn some lessons the hard way, like some of the rest of us did. So, as you become independent of them, there might be things in the world that you would like to invest in, because the devil can represent the world. But you could also get in relationships with some people that then challenge you to grow and mature yourself, because some things and some people and ways of living life have kind of kept you stagnant, and maybe make you face some of your fears and invest in, again, Taurus can represent all these different institutions of the world. You could be getting a different job, investing in different types of being a spiritual leader in the world, trying to grow and heal and mature yourself in some ways, invest in things that kind of really motivate and inspire you. But you could end up in something where the devil can be where other people are jealous. Because you could get what some other people wanted, but they were trying to go about it in kind of more shadowy ways or deceptive ways. And they could have thought, I don't listen to my intuition. I don't believe in truth and love. I don't think I have to act with more character and integrity. Shadowy energy tries to cheat the justice system. I don't have to be just and fair. I think because I have a certain status or image, I think people will indulge me, or I'll go indulge someone else to get those things. Well, they might get some of these things of the world, and it looks like they look like a boss in the world in some way, but you could have something that people being more independent in your life, being able to not be more about conforming to the world, which the other people can make their life more about conforming to the world. You're able to live your more authentic life. High vibe energy is about working together and being in relationship with other people, but being free to live your authentic truth. And the other people could hold back from investing in themselves, investing in things they really would like to go do, because it's more about shadowy Taurus can be about making your life conforming to the world. The devil wants us to make our life more about conforming to the world. High vibe energy, represented by God at the big picture, wants us to free ourselves and go live our authentic life, love and believe in ourselves, take action from truth and love, and we will probably have more abundance in our life than we ever imagined. And then some other people could be jealous because they went about it the way they went about it. They didn't believe in your truth or way of going about it. And then you have this status, this image, this justice, being able to live your authentic life. And their shadowy energy is like creating an illusion of, look how wonderful my life is. But are they in a relationship where someone stays in a relationship with them because they're just more codependent? Or because they're more fearful or insecure? They're not kind of growing and maturing themselves, or are they indulging someone else for those reasons? And it kind of keeps them imprisoned because of this more codependent nature of not willing to love and believe in themselves and listen to their intuition, to invest in their truth. Well, you got one life to speak your truth in love. Got to get out of your ego to do that. Some people are too prideful to speak their truth in love. So they'll live a life of illusion. What's coming up for the shadowy people they don't see coming? The Knight of Pentacles. Why? Because of the King of Wands. Well, the high vibe people are going to invest in taking this inspired action within themselves to learn the lesson and move on. And other people in the world are going to do that. And while other people are being inspired to listen to their intuition out of, and the King of Wands is Aries energy, out of kind of like love for themselves, other people are going to invest in loving and believing in themselves and set themselves free from some things that used to manipulate them. But the other people keep being either more about themselves, trying to control things, don't want to listen to their intuition, are more manipulated by these things of the world. They're going to repeat an old pattern. And again, we repeat patterns until we're willing to see the truth. And some people, they're just going to the next stage of life. Maybe they were in their more worldly nature, then they could have been in their more air sign energy. Now they could be doing their King of Wands energy. Then they'll maybe have to do the King of Cups energy. Other people have already completed all four of those cycles, and they're ready to move forward. Above the Emperor is the Hierophant. So in tarot, we have the pages, the knights, the kings, the queens, the emperor, the empress, and the Hierophant and the high priestess. Other people are moving up to very high levels of, I don't know, self-awareness, insight. They're being good leaders in the world, acting with character and integrity, walking the talk. Some other people are going off and they're going to kind of probably go off to the edge. Because sometimes we got to go really far out to the edge till we kind of are like, damn, why did I make this so important in my life? And then we kind of come back to center, and then we go on another journey, and then, and it's kind of, again, like I talked about the emperor, it's like going off on all these journeys, kind of like shit, and then kind of realizing we need to come back to center. And then if we're willing to learn the lessons we've learned, it's like, it's one thing to tilt more over here, like to be more in my pentacle energy to a degree when I'm at work, right? But I can come back to balance, and I can still not think the other aspects of me are not important. When I'm dealing with loving people in my life or a child, I can tilt much more in favor of my loving nature, but I still am not letting go of the other aspects of myself to such a degree and the importance of them. But, other people maybe haven't, again, they could keep feeling out of balance, but they keep looking to the world or other things or people to be the answer instead of investing in themselves. Some people will invest in themselves and and learn lessons in life, and they will grow and heal and mature themselves, and they will go get in relationships with other people who did. And if the shadowy people, what they offer people are these things of the world, they could offer people those things of the world, repeat this pattern, and eventually those people, kind of feel left out in the cold because they thought it was going to be more about truth and love, and they find out it's just kind of more for these things of the world, and some of those people leave. And if these people are unwilling to be more inspired by love, and some won't, that's like shadowy Scorpio, the death card. I'm not willing to do love. I'm not willing to get to know myself emotionally. They turn their back emotionally on their own inner child, more balanced nature. Nope, it's more about these things. So they make their life, that's what they're more inspired by. They'll find other people who want to be in a relationship with them, and they'll be more tempted by those things of the world. And they'll go on that journey and probably end up in relationships with other people who are more inspired by those things of the world. And for some of them, they could be very happy with it, because if that's their truth and they think that's just and fair, I want to be where it's more about being in a relationship, living more from my mind than my heart, looking like a boss in the world. Well, then that's what they manifested. But, that can be the driving factor for the relationship. I want to be in a relationship to be in a relationship. Do you? Yes. Okay, let's stay in a relationship. You're not going to heal or grow and mature yourself, are you? Nope, me neither. Perfect. Let's keep indulging in what we indulge in, or making our life about what we make it about. And, just they move forward in this more inspired by these things of the world. That's how they maybe define their worth and value. They didn't really invest in, I guess, in Scorpio, growing and maturing themselves emotionally. And they could be quite kind of more superficial and shallow people. So there you go, Scorpio. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.